YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. I'm bringing you guys episode 12 of our Road to Regional series here, playing the VGC 2017 format, learning it, and competing in St. Louis on March 4th. I've been having a blast, man. In the last episode, we had Joshua Lorsey join us. We won 2 matches, and that was great. If you want to check that out, it's in the description below. I was going to skip today's episode, but I decided to grind last night, and I actually got a new team for you guys, a little bit different than the other teams I've ran, and I'm going to run through the team here, and then probably just grab 1 match today, maybe 2. We'll see how much time we have, but I'm very excited about this team. So hit that like button down below for the effort of breeding and training a new team for you guys. And let me know your thoughts on the question today. What Pokemon do you wish was in the Alolan Dex? And the reason why I'm asking that is because I'm bringing some hail and some rain. We're bringing dual weather, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a second if I remember. But I would love to see Beartick. If you don't know, Beartick has the ability Slush Rush now, which is what Sandslash has, and I think Beartick could be really, really cool. Got an attack buff as well, so its base attack is 130. That's really powerful. I think it would be fun to use, but it is not available, obviously, because it's not in the original Alolan Dex of those 300 Pokemon. But let's take a look at the team we're rocking now. Now, I did want to say this. This team is inspired by Aaron Cybertron's San Jose team, and it looks like we'll have Aaron on this series in a few days to kind of give his perspective on this team and help us out a little bit. I'm also going to try something different with this team as well. I plan on tweaking it over the next week or 2, and maybe making some adjustments, because I can see some holes in it right off the bat. I know I have an issue with Muck already, but so I threw Muck on the team. I was going to use Alolan Marowak, but I decided to rock with Muck instead. So we'll try that out, and I may make some tweaks as we go, but I'm really excited to try out some of these new Pokemon and see how they function on the team. So let's break it down right now. So kicking things off, we've got our Tapu Bulu here. I'm running max attack, max speed. Part of the reason why I'm running max speed is because I didn't feel like re-EV training it, which is kind of dumb, but also under Tailwind, it actually outspeeds max speed Choice Scarf Garchomp, which is very specific, but it does outspeed it by 1 point. So we have that going, and it's actually could catch some surprising KOs because of how fast it can be. It's going to be faster than a lot of Lele's. It's going to be faster than Finny and stuff like that, which might not expect it to be faster. So it could be really effective, especially under Tailwind. So I kind of was thinking of Tailwind when I made this, and I've got the Miracle Seed, same as Meadow Plate. It basically boosts the power of Grass type moves. Under Grassy terrain, this thing is a monster. Hornleech, Wood Hammer. I've got Protect and Superpower just to hit things as hard as possible. Very excited to use Tapu Bulu. It's my favorite Tapu, and I'm surprised it's taking me this long to get it on the team. We're bringing Golduck here, standard Golduck with Ice Beam, Hydro Pump, Encore, Protect, Modest, Swift Swim, Waterium Z. In the rain, this thing is double speed, and it hits incredibly hard with that modest high special attack stat. Hydro Pump, Waterium Z, Ice Beam for Garchomp, things like that. Encore is really cool because you can Encore your opponent in Protect, and you can really make some easy plays and easy predictions knowing that they're stuck into a certain move. So I'm very excited to try Golduck here. We've got Tapu Koko, same Tapu Koko as on the last team, but I made a slight tweak. I dropped Dazzling Gleam for Taunt because I feel like this team is not going to do well against Trick Room, and I want to have a way to stop Trick Room very reliably. So we've got Taunt on there to stop Trick Room, Grass Knot for Gastrodon, which you're seeing. Gastrodon is like the #1 thing that stops this team, I feel like. So we've got Grass Knot on this thing, see I have a few other options to cover that. Tapu Bulu obviously should scare Gastrodon, and so here's our Flash Drive here. Life Orb, obviously Grass Knot, Thunderbolt, Taunt, Protect. We've got Ninetales here, so I'm actually running 3 fairies, which that could be terrible. It might not be. I don't know. The biggest threat to fairies in this format right now is Alolan Muck. There are some good steel types, but Celesteela has kind of dwindled a little bit due to the rise of Arcanine, so I don't know. Maybe I should throw Arcanine on this team instead of Muck. We do have a shiny Arcanine that I haven't finished training, but maybe that'll make it on the team. I might get Aaron's perspective. I didn't want to copy his team exactly. I wanted to try something different. So here's Snowflake here. It's not my shiny one. My shiny one's not fully trained yet, but this one is Blizzard, Protect, Freeze Dry, Aurora Veil. Beautiful thing is Freeze Dry hits Gastrodon 4 times, super effective, obviously ignoring the water typing and hitting the ground type, so that's another check to Gastro. So 3 very reliable ways to deal with Gastrodon on this team, and I'm running Light Clay Aurora Veil, and the reason for that is because I can't run Focus Sash since I have my Focus Sash and my Pelipper, and I felt that that was more important, but I really think that getting 8 turns of Aurora Veil could be incredibly beneficial. I've seen a lot of people run Sash Ninetales, but I'm excited to try Light Clay on it because this team is a very hard-hitting team with Bulu specifically, and obviously I've got the Alolan Muck. Pelipper hits really hard, Koko hits really hard, and if I can get an Aurora Veil up and have that last for 8 turns, man, most VGC matches don't go much farther than 8 turns, so that could be really good, and it also scares Garchomp quite a bit. So we've got a few things that can kind of scare Garchomp a little bit to protect a Alolan Muck, which is kind of, I was trying to make sure I covered as many of the bases as I could cover, and I really felt that running Aurora Veil could be really cool. It may bite us that we don't have the Sash, but we'll just mess around with it and see how it works. We've got our Rain Setter here, Modest, Drizzle, Focus, Sash, Pelipper here. This is kind of the core of the team, the double duck, as you may have heard of it, called that. Protect, Scald, Tailwind, Hurricane, 100% accurate, flying type move, 30% chance to confuse, Scald, great water type move, 30% chance to burn, Protect obviously, and then Tailwind, because we have that Focus Sash, we can lock into that Tailwind, shoot our speed up, and then just destroy things with Bulu. Coco outspeed everything. Ninetales, outspeed everything, etc. And then we've got a Alolan Muck, which is actually my Trick Room variant. I'm not going to rebreed Muck right now. Sorry, ran out of time, but that's the struggle. It's okay, it'll still be good. And I kind of like that it's slower anyway, in some regards, so, because it's not going to outspeed much of the higher threats anyway, and in Trick Room it might be actually kind of effective, so that could be cool. But it's Brave Nature with Gluttony, Figgy to restore its health, Protect, Poison Jab, Shadow Sneak, Knockoff, same kind of deal. Might want to try Minimize on this thing. In fact, I think I'm actually going to be cheeky and drop Shadow Sneak for Minimize before we start the episode. So let me go do that. I'm gonna go put Minimize on this thing because I feel like that could be really cool with the Aurora Veil. And in VGC, these things are allowed. So you can call it cheap or you can call it lame or whatever, but there's people running sheer cold on Vanillux right now. So I'm gonna run Minimize. Let's do it. I don't think Shadow Sneak is gonna be that useful. So let me make that adjustment and let's jump into a match and see how it goes. So we're gonna fight our first match here on the championship battle. Let me snag my team, and I did add Minimize onto my Muck. Now, I do realize there are some holes to this team, but I was really intrigued by Dual Weather, and I don't think I explained it yet. When I was in the GBA a few seasons ago, I played against Fizzy Stardust, and he drafted Dual Weather. He drafted Sand and Sun, and it was so hard to deal with. So I kind of took some inspiration from that and tried Dual Weather on this team to kind of add a new dimension, and it could actually be terrible, or it may be pretty solid. So I don't know. Let's just try to have some fun with it and see how it goes. And let's jump into this first match here and see. Let me actually pick a better song here. Let's get some Team Skull or something. I don't know, maybe, yeah, let's get some Team Skull admin remix going on here and see what we're gonna end up with. But I think the focus is gonna be to run the double duck, but I wanted to cover Gastro, and like I said, we may make some tweaks as we go on here. Obviously, not having a steel type is kind of a problem. I know Cybertron's team had both Metagross and Kartana, so he had a couple different steel types, so we'll see, but I'm excited to try this strategy out. So this guy's got some interesting stuff. He's got a Mudsdale, he's got the Garchomp, the Lele, Oranguru, which is kind of interesting, Salazzle, and Gyarados. So I'm pretty sure my lead here should just be double duck, because like the worst case scenario is he like has his Gyarados in front, but that doesn't really scare me because I can take out whatever the opposite Pokemon is going to be. So let's try it out. Let's go lead double duck. I really like Coco in the back here because I could hit some things pretty hard, although I can't really touch the Garchomp, so maybe Coco's not the greatest. I do like do I like Ninetales? Ninetales has some merit. Ninetales definitely has some merit in this match. Especially bringing double weather could be really effective, and I kind of like Bulu too because he really doesn't have much to just like. I mean, Bulu could really put in some work. Do I want to go Coco? I'm definitely gonna go Ninetales in the back because I think getting that Aurora Veil up could be really good, and I outspeed his whole team unless he Dragon Dances. Well, I guess Salazzle's faster, but it's okay. Maybe I bring Muck. I should bring Muck because of Lele. He's got a couple things that can handle Muck, but I really think it's important to just be able to check that thing. So let's try this. We're gonna put a lot of strategy and stock in our double duck here, but don't forget that Ninetales Freeze Dry does actually probably not one-shot the Gyarados because it's super effective to both the water and the flying side of things. So it's the same thing with Gastro, right? So it really checks Gyarados incredibly well, and I'm curious to see how this goes. This is my first time really using weather. I didn't practice with this team on Showdown. I haven't used it at all, so this is gonna be very, very new for me. Again, we played against Double Duck a few episodes ago, and I did watch a lot of Aaron's videos on it, but I am very, very new to this this team here, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see what he's gonna lead with. That's so weird he's got the Oranguru, but he's gonna lead Lele Salazzle, which is kind of interesting. And I have a couple different options here. He can't fake out Salazzle, but I could easily like double into that. I'm trying to think of what Salazzle can do to me. He's gonna set up the Misty Terrain or the Psychic Surge, so the battlefield's gonna get weird. And I'm gonna be fast on everything right off the bat with Golduck. So I'm really leaning towards just going into that Lele hard body right now and just Waterium Z and just go for the, you know, just doubling into that Lele, because realistically, Salazzle, like the worst thing it can do is go for like a poison type move into my Golduck, and I'm really not too concerned about that. So I'm just gonna go straight off on the offensive here. I'm gonna Hydro Vortex into the Lele slot, and I think I'm gonna go for the just go for a Scald into a Hurricane into the Lele slot as well, and just try to put some damage on some stuff here. I really feel like that's kind of a cool play. I don't want to lose out on the potential for setting up Tailwind, so maybe Tailwind's good, but I think I want to double into the Lele here. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to double into Lele and see what he's going to do. He may just protect on this turn, but he's going to protect Salazzle, which is great, so we know his Lele is not Scarfed, so we can get that out of the way. And he is not protecting that Lele. This thing is going to take some damage here. I'm very curious to see just how much this is going to do. And it's possible he's carrying Thunderbolt on his Lele, but we are gonna put some hurt in on this Tapu Lele right now with this Hydro Vortex. I do not think that this is gonna feel too good. I don't know if it's gonna kill, because I actually have yet to see the power of Golduck, but this is rain boosted Waterium Z. See you later, Lele. So the proper play would have been to Tailwind with Pelipper, but that's okay. Hurricane comes off, obviously does not hit the Salazzle, so no big deal there, but we just got rid of Lele in one turn. I love that. That is amazing, getting rid of that thing. And here comes a Gyarados. Now, Gyarados definitely pretty scary for a couple of reasons. It's gonna get the Intimidate off, which isn't too big of a deal. The good news is if he Dragon Dances, I can Encore him into that, so we have that going for us. I think what I want to do here is simply go for a Hydro Pump into the Salazzle slot, and then I think I'm going to go for a Tailwind just to be safe. I could also Hurricane into the Gyarados slot, which might not be a terrible idea. Let's do that. Let's Hurricane into the Gyarados slot, and if he does go for a Dragon Dance, I can Encore him on the following turn. He's just gonna straight up forfeit. He was not ready for the double duck, and I will take a nice little W there. Thank you for the match, my friend. We're gonna move to 17-7. We got a little win streak right now. That guy was not feeling the double duck. I think when his Lele went down, he was like, this is not the situation that I wanted to be in, and I don't think I blame him, because that was about to get super ugly if I kept attacking there. So let's tag another one, man. This is great. I'm glad we're able to get a few battles into, on this episode, because I didn't know how long I would ramble on about our team. So let's get ourselves another one here, and hopefully we can keep this win streak alive as we're trying to climb our way back up to the 1600, which is where we were kind of on the last ladder session or whatever. But let's throw some of that Team Skull. Let's go with Team Skull Boss this time. Let's see how that sounds. And we've got Dudley VGC. He seems super legit because he's got VGC in his name, so I'm ready to go. He's got a Celesteela. He's got a Garchomp. He's got a Vikavolt, a Finny, Arcanine, Passimian, which is cool, and I think I got them all. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, cool. So I'm thinking double duck here is lovely once again, because even with Finny, like, that's really not too scary, because I could simply bring Bulu or Coco in the back, and Coco actually can put in some work in this one, I think. Coco can definitely put in some work on this one. I think I'm just gonna lead double duck though, because it's really gonna burn through his entire team. And like the only thing he could really do is use that Finny, but I could just, you know, really mess that thing up. Let's see here. What do I want to do? I like Ninetales for a couple of reasons, but not the most. It's definitely not my favorite in this matchup. I like Coco. I gotta bring Coco because of the Celesteela, and then I gotta figure out what my best way to deal with the Garchomp is. Or the Finny, really. I think I want to bring Bulu, because Bulu is gonna really, well, Coco kind of covers the Finny slot for me. Do I think Muck is gonna be useful here, or do I think Muck could be kind of good? This is a tough one, because I want to make sure I can handle the Celesteela, because that could be a problem if I don't have the proper response to it. I kind of like Muck here, but I also kind of like Ninetales because it helps against the Garchomp, but Garchomp really isn't gonna want to deal with the Ducks. Let's go with Ninetales, because I think that Aurora Veil could prove to be effective, and I need to select before I run out of time. So maybe I should have went with Muck, because we're putting a ton of pressure on Coco in this match, because he's got a couple things weak. Celesteela, Finny are the two primary things. Coco would have helped at least with the Finny, but I'm sorry, Muck would have helped with the Finny, but let's see what he's gonna do. Let's see if he predicts the double duck lead. Either way, we should be able to put in some work. So he's gonna leave Vikavolt and Finny here, which is probably the best way to deal with the double ducks. And that's a bit scary because he could just discharge against me. I'm simply thinking that a double protect here is probably my best play. I could Waterium Z into the Vikavolt and try to just bop that thing, because I would guess I'm faster with the Pokemon I have on the field. The only problem with that is if he protects Vikavolt, that could be problematic. But I don't really see any reason not to just double protect here, because he's not gonna like Waterium Z into me. But is Vikavolt gonna live at a Hydro Pump? I'm gonna just go for it, man. We gotta get rid of this Vikavolt. So I'm just gonna fire off a Hydro Vortex into the Vikavolt slot. I'm going to Hurricane into the Vikavolt slot and try to get rid of that thing. And just ensure that that thing is not gonna make it to the next turn here. And if he protects Vikavolt, that's fine, but he does go for the protect. So we are gonna get a Hydro Vortex off into him, and I could Encore him in on the following turn. I had a feeling that was gonna be a thing that I had to deal with here, is the protect on the Vikavolt. But truthfully, this is still gonna do a decent chunk, I would guess. I would guess it's still gonna hurt. And if the Finny tries to set up with Calm Minds, I can simply, you know, go for an Encore onto that or something, but it might be Specs Finny. He may try to fire off like a Hydro Pump or something, but either way, we're gonna get a big Waterium Z off. He did protect, but we do a solid, I don't know, 40% or so. And we obviously targeted him with the Hurricane, so he gets a really good protect there. And the Finny's actually gonna Muddy Water, miss the Pelipper, which is great, because that could have really messed up our Pelipper there. And then he's actually gonna hit the Golduck and just do a tremendous amount of damage. It's a crit. Quite unfortunate there. So here's the thing, I think I need to Hydro Pump into the Vikavolt slot. It's very clear that this is probably Specs Finny. And I think I'm gonna Hydro Pump into the Vikavolt and simply go for a Hurricane or a Protect here. I think I want a Hurricane into the Vikavolt too, and just make sure that I get rid of that thing, because if I don't, then that thing is going to be a problem. I need to get rid of that Vikavolt. I'm going to go for the Hydro Pump. We do not miss. This should do enough, I'm thinking, and it does, which is great. So we get rid of that, and then I'm going to be able to target the Hurricane into the Finny slot, and I'm actually faster because he's running not speed invested Finny, and we have a 30% chance for a Confusion. We don't get it. Here comes the Muddy Water, which I think is going to do enough to knock out our Golduck here and at least put some hurting on our Pelipper. That is a very strong Tapu Finny. My goodness, guys, that is incredibly scary. I'm gonna go into my Ninetales here because I feel that if Garchomp comes out on the field, I can really scare that thing out. The problem is I lose my Rain by doing that. So maybe Coco is the better play. Let's go into Coco because I immediately threaten the Finny with Coco. And I could protect and Tailwind or do something like that. So he does go to the Garchomp. Not surprised to see that. Again, I want to keep my Rain for another turn here. He could go for a Dragon Claw into our Pelipper slot, which could be problematic. I think I'm just going to protect Coco here. And I'm going to go for a, what do I want to do here? I've got Ninetales in the back, which is really effective. I think I want a Hurricane into Finny here. Because if Pelipper goes down, then I go into Ninetales, and then Ninetales puts on the pressure onto Garchomp. I could Blizzard and Thunderbolt. So I'm thinking that's what I want to do, because whatever he has left, that's going to be the best case scenario here. So I'm going to simply Hurricane into the Finny slot and protect with Coco here. And I kind of want Pelipper to go down. He's going to switch out Finny and go into Arcanine, which is totally fine by me. I do want him to knock out my Pelipper on this turn, but it's okay if he doesn't on this exact turn here, because we'll be in a decent spot. I do protect Coco. The only thing that this gets messed up with is if the Garchomp, he's gonna Rock Slide, so he's gonna knock out our Pelipper anyway, so that's totally fine. He will get the KO on the Pelipper, and now, man, I feel like I've been playing this a little too hastily here. Because I knew that was the Garchomp coming in, but it's okay. We do have our Ninetales here, and I can choose to set up the Aurora Veil or go for the offensive. I think what I want to do is Aurora Veil and Thunderbolt into the Arcanine slot is what I want to do. So let's do that. We're gonna Thunderbolt into the Arcanine slot, and I'm gonna protect Aurora Veil because I think his Garchomp's gonna protect this turn. So let's do that. Let's do that. We're gonna go for the Aurora Veil and the, he's gonna protect Garchomp, perfect. So I will get the Thunderbolt off, and my Aurora Veil should ensure that we can live any hit from this this Arcanine here if we don't pick up the kill, which we don't. Definitely a bit of a bummer that we didn't pick up the kill there. He's gonna activate his Citrus, but we are gonna get the Aurora Veil off though, which is very, very important. There's the Aurora Veil, which is great, and I believe this should guarantee that we can live any hit from this Arcanine. He could very well go for like a Flare Blitz into our Ninetales slot, which we won't live, but if he goes into Coco, we have a chance to live. He's gonna go into the Ninetales and pick up the kill, so I think we just lose now as a result of that, guys. I am not able to beat the Garchomp solo, so we couldn't pick up the kill there. I probably needed to double into the Arcanine slot there to pick up that win. Let's think about what I could have done better there. I think I just hastily played our Rain at the beginning and should have set up Tailwind maybe. That's frustrating. That's kind of frustrating because I feel like this was a very winnable game and I just kind of threw it away. I don't have Dazzling Gleam, obviously, so all I can do here is simply T-Bolt into the Coco slot, so or into the Arcanine slot, which is really all I can do, because Grass Knot is going to do nothing to Garchomp. I'll go for Grass Knot just to see how much it does, but we don't really have an answer for that. Here comes the Extreme Speed. We do have Aurora Veil up, but if he just Poison Jabs or Earthquakes, we're in trouble. But let's go for the Grass Knot here and just see what happens. We are going to do approximately 0. We need a Mega Crit. Rough Skin does make contact from the Grass Knot. This is a soul-crushing turn here, because we're going to get Groundium Z to the oblivion, man. Well, we take a loss there, guys. I think I just got a little too confident there. I don't know, man. I think I put so much emphasis on trying to get rid of that that Vikavolt, when maybe the focus should have been put a little bit more towards that Finny. But that Muddy Water was just so powerful, man. Specs Muddy Water in the rain. And had I maybe sent out Ninetales at first, and it was Finny Garchomp versus Ninetales and whatever Pelipper or whatever it was left, maybe that would have been better instead of bringing out Coco first, because the Ninetales would have threatened the Garchomp on the field immediately, whereas he would have had, like I said, he would have had Finny Garchomp, and then, yeah, so I knew the Garchomp was coming out, and I didn't play the right play. I kind of went the wrong play. But let's actually grab another one, because I really want to keep practicing with this team, and I want to try to end this episode with a win. So we've got a little bit of time. So let's try to snag one more here and hope we can kind of end on a winning note. But yeah, I think that was a misplay there. I should have just went into my Ninetales when I had the chance to do that, as opposed to going into the Coco there, because the Ninetales would have immediately threatened out the you know, the Garchomp. But we got a fellow Connecticut native here, and he's got a Torkoal Lilligant team. Torkoal, Lilligant, P2, Lapras, Coco, and Scissors. So I've yet to face another weather team, so I'm a little bit nervous about dealing with that, because obviously he's going to get the priority with the weather. I think what I want to do is actually lead Golduck. Lead Golduck and maybe Muck, and then switch in Pelipper afterwards to switch the weather. Like maybe lead Golduck. This is so weird. I've never had to do this before. So we're gonna lead Golduck, Muck, and put Pelipper in the back. And then I kind of like Coco. Do I like Coco? I do like Coco. I'm worried about his own Coco, if I'm being honest. That thing's kind of scary. I don't really like Bulu in this match because of the Scissor. I don't like Ninetales in this match either. I think I like Coco the most because we could also run Taunt against that Porygon. If he leads Porygon, dude, I don't even know. But I think he's gonna lead Torkoal Lilligant. But he may be dissuaded from that because of the rain, so he may run Coco. I don't know. This is a weird one. This is definitely a weird one, but I'm excited because this will be fun. We got some weather on weather here. 3 forms of weather potentially in this match. Obviously, I'm not bringing Ninetales, but I'm very curious to see if he's going to lead that Torkoal Lilligant, because the thing is, those eruptions just do so much damage if you're in the sun. If I can put him in the rain, it's going to really mitigate the amount of damage he would do, and put us in a much better situation, and also double the speed on Golduck. So I kind of want to get that Muck out there to immediately threaten that Lilligant, and we'll simply, yeah, so this is what I'm expecting. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to protect Golduck and switch into Pelipper, get my rain up, then I control the weather at that point in time. If he does go for the after you eruption, it's gonna stink, it's gonna hurt, but my Golduck will be protected, and then the following turn I can really put some damage on his team. So let's do that. So we're gonna simply protect with Golduck here, because I'm not in the rain, and then I'm actually gonna just go right into my Pelipper slot to get the rain up myself. So, and the reason why I'm doing this is because my Pokemon for rain are faster than his Pokemon in the rain, so I have to have my rain switch in, because otherwise he would get the priority of the weather. So now we're gonna change the weather. We're gonna get the sun up here, or I'm sorry, we're gonna get the rain up. We're gonna make it rain with Pelipper. And this isn't a terrible situation. We'll see. I'm sure he's actually going to switch his Torkoal, so he predicted that actually and went into Lapras. Very interesting stuff there. Obviously, Lapras having Water Absorb, and he's probably going to fire off a Sleep Powder, right? So he does go for the Sleep Powder, and he actually targets the Pelipper slot. So not the best turn for us, guys. Not the best turn for us. And my Golduck is a little scared here because my Golduck doesn't know what to do right now. My Golduck is not feeling this situation here. And Pelipper is definitely not feeling, because he's got freeze dry. I know he's got freeze dry on that Lilligant, or on that Lapras. So what I can do is I can Ice Beam into the Lilligant, but I just feel like there is going to be a grass type Z move coming my way. No doubt about it. There is going to be a grass. I don't know how I stop that, if I'm being honest. This is very tricky. This is very, very tricky, guys. I'm going to Ice Beam into the Lilligant slot, but the chances that dude, he's going to totally go for a Leaf Storm into Golduck, but he's also going to freeze dry the Lapras into my Pelipper slot. And if he gets a freeze dry off on the Lapras into the Pelipper slot, then I lose the weather. I mean, I do have Sash, but I'm going to go into Muck to take the freeze dry. I'm going to get the Ice Beam off on the Lilligant. We could use a freeze here. This will probably do about a little over half, I would guess. It does do exactly that. He is going to go for the Grassy MZ, the Bloom Doom, and that is definitely going to be targeting our Golduck slot. The Golduck is going down, my friends. This thing is not going to be feeling good after this. It is going to be a Bloom Doom, and I am positive this is going into that Golduck slot. I knew that was going to happen, man, but I was in a tough situation where there was nothing I could do about it. Absolutely nothing. I mean, because I know the Lapras is going to freeze dry into the Pelipper slot. I am very confident in that at this point in time. I'm feeling like that's about to happen right now. There it is. There's the freeze dry. So we got that prediction right. So I knew that was coming. Okay, so now what I can do, I mean, I can go into Coco here. Coco definitely put some pressure on, which is quite nice. Now, obviously, he has no ground types on his team, so I do get a free T-Bolt off here, which is kind of nice. Well, not necessarily free, but I really do get to T-Bolt now, and I could just easily target the Lapras slot. I think I want to T-Bolt into the Lilligant, though, because I feel like that Lapras is protecting or it's switching. I really don't anticipate that Lapras just sitting there. I feel like I need to T-Bolt into the Lilligant slot, and I'm going to actually go for a simple minimize here with Muck because we need to pull this one back. So let's go for that minimize. I think the T-Bolt will do enough to the Lilligant slot, and I'm going to minimize with Muck here, and I'm going to expect him to protect Lapras. He does not protect the Lapras, so I get played there like a fiddle, and if he goes for a water move, we are going to be in some trouble. We are going to be in a lot of trouble right now. I am very surprised he did not protect there. He does go for the Hydro Pump, and he connects. This is going to hit right into our Coco, and that's going to hurt so bad. Oh, man. He could be a Assault Vest Lapras, which would have potentially resulted in him living. That's really the situation I'm thinking. It could have been an AV Lapras. We're going to go into our Pelipper, which is snoring right now. He is fast asleep. I'm thinking AV Lapras. It's not over yet. We have minimized Muck, which could prove to be effective in this matchup. He's got, I'm assuming that Torkoal's coming on the field right now. We need to wake up ASAP, guys, because this Torkoal is going to change our weather, and it is going to hurt with some of these, you know, eruptions, and I can't change the weather at this point in time, so I need to do whatever I can to hit this Torkoal. So I'm going to go for the Protect with Pelipper on the off chance we can wake up, and I'm going to go for a big knockoff into the Torkoal slot and try to weaken that thing. Yeah, Pelipper's snoozing here. Not too good there. He's going to freeze dry into the Pelipper slot. Nothing I could do about that. I knew that was happening. Again, all I could do is protect pretty simply. We do have a Focus Sash, which is nice, so at least we can make it one more turn. But if this Torkoal does fire off an eruption here, it is going to be the end of my good friend. Oh, he's going to HP, and he misses the hidden power. Could be HP ground. He does miss that, which is quite nice. I'm going to protect with Pelipper again because we need to get that thing basically living, and I think I need to minimize here actually with Muck. I think I need to minimize and just give myself as much of a chance to dodge some attacks here and hopefully pull this one out. I need a Pelipper first turn wake, but he is not waking up. Yeah, Pelipper, that didn't work out too well. Here comes the freeze dry, targeting the Pelipper slot. I'm gonna get a minimize off here, and I'm gonna need to pray to those RNG gods right now that this guy has no glasses, and he is not gonna be able to touch my Muck, because that is the only chance we have now, is if he just consistently misses Muck. And he's gonna Willow and miss the Willow, so there's hope here. There is hope, but I need to put a lot of pressure on that Torkoal ASAP, because if he hits a Willow, it's over. So I'm simply going for the Poison Jab into the Torkoal, because 2 Poison Jabs will look like it pick up the kill. We've got a good chance to poison him, and if we can get rid of that Torkoal, then we have a chance, maybe? I mean, I don't even know what his last is. He's got T-Ball, he misses the T-Ball, Poison Jab comes off to the Torkoal slot. Come on, baby, I need him to miss a Willow. Do not hit a Willow right now. He's gonna Hidden Power and miss again. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, we're gonna Poison Jab into the Torkoal slot again. If he protects here, that would definitely be a bummer, but I think he's just gonna try to actually make a contact on my Muck. Come on, minimize Muck. I need you, big dog. I need you, big dog. We gotta beat our fellow Kinetician. He misses again. Can the Poison Jab pick up the kill? I think it's gonna be very close. This is definitely a damage roll here. And it picks up the kill on the Torkoal. There is hope, ladies and gentlemen. What is his last? Is it Scissor? Or is it Tapu Koko? Or is it P2, actually? I think, for me, best case would probably... It's Koko, so that's not terrible, because I can Poison Jab into the Koko here. He obviously is going to get the Electric Terrain, which is quite unfortunate, but if he can miss on the Koko and I can Poison Jab him, there's hope. So I'm going to Poison Jab into the Koko slot, and there is some hope here that we can dodge some attacks. I don't want to get too excited because we've dodged so many already. We're not going to dodge this one. This is probably going to knock us into Ayapapa or Figgy. It does knock us into Figgy. We are Brave Nature with a lot of attack investment, so we could knock out the Koko in one hit. He does connect 2 T-bolts in a row. I can't get mad about that because of how much hacks I just had. We're going to hit a Poison Jab here into the Koko. Is that going to be enough? Oh, get the poison! Oh, we do not get a poison, so now I don't have Shadow Sneak, so now I need to dodge some serious attacks right now. I need these things to just be blind. I need some blind Pokemon right now. I should actually be protecting, but he's gonna T-Bolt, and he does connect the T-Bolt, and our luck is looking like it's gonna run dry, and Muck goes down, man. We take a couple devastating losses there. That was such a bummer, man. I got totally destroyed in that last match, man. Maybe this team needs a little bit of tweaking. Maybe I need some tweaking, guys. But nevertheless, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Road to Regionals. I'm having fun, if you can't tell. I'm enjoying it. I like to win more than I like to lose, but you can't win them all, and we're going to lose a lot of them on this process. So definitely a bummer. Definitely a bummer to lose that one. That was an interesting matchup, dealing with Torkoal Lilligant. I tried to play it properly, but that Lapras, I am assuming that Lapras was AV, so I don't think that T-Bolt would have been enough from Koko, but I probably should have went for it. I probably should have went Koko into the Lapras, try to knock that thing out, because if that was gone, then we might have had a chance with Muck beating the Koko, but we were just a tiny bit shy of picking up that kill there at the end. But I hope you enjoyed the battles. I thought they were pretty entertaining. I had fun. So thank you so much guys for watching. Hit that like button down below for a new team and some awesome battles. That's gonna be it for me, guys. My name is Dan. I'll also go by aDrive, and I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace.